host, Nettie Nevermore, is here. Your guide to the haunted, the historic, and the occasionally questionable decisions of Australia's past. Grab your torch, grab your curiosity, and if you've got a drop bear handy, maybe keep him on a leash. Today we're heading to Queensland's shimmering, sunlit, deceptively peaceful Moreton Bay, a place where the water remembers more than it lets on. Let's walk. Moreton Bay looks like paradise. Blue water, mangroves, pelicans doing whatever pelicans do. But beneath that postcard surface lies one of the darkest chapters in Australia's penal history. From 1824 to 1839, Moreton Bay wasn't a holiday destination. It was a secondary punishment settlement, the place convicts were sent when they'd already messed up somewhere else. And the man in charge of this sun-drenched misery? Captain Patrick Logan. Logan arrived in 1826 and immediately became known for two things: efficiency and unrelenting, bone-deep cruelty. Convicts called him the Fell Tyrant. Not exactly a nickname you embroider on a tea towel. He enforced brutal discipline, like many of them did, those bastards. Floggings were common, 150 lashes, 200 or even 300 for minor infractions. Some men died strapped to the frame. Others were worked to death in the heat. Logan's reputation spread so far that he ended up immortalised in one of Australia's oldest folk ballads, Moreton Bay. They say that in Moreton Bay, the tyrant rules with lash and chain. Not subtle, not wrong. But Logan's story ends with a twist worthy of a ghost tale. In October 1830, he rode out alone to survey land near Mount Lindsay. He never returned. His body was found days later, bludgeoned, stripped, and half bruised, and half buried. Officially, the blame fell on Aboriginal resistance fighters. Unofficially, convicts whispered that the land itself had taken revenge. And that's where the haunting begins. For decades after Logan's death, locals reported seeing a ghostly rider near the Logan River. No guessing who that was named after. Tall, rigid, wearing a military coat, face obscured, hoarse, silent. He would appear at dusk, staring at the water, then vanish into the mist. Some called him the Commandant. Others simply said, "He's back." But the river holds more than one ghost. Fishermen told stories of a man standing waist deep in the water, motionless, staring, drenched, but not dripping. When approached, he would turn and his face would be gone, just a blank, wet void. In the 1920s, newspapers revived the story. One article described a ghost of the tyrant seen near the old Red Bank site. Another claimed a schoolboy fainted after seeing a man in uniform walk through a wall. And in the 1970s, a historian swore he found Logan's name scratched into a mangrove root. fresh, wet and steaming. Today, Moreton Bay is a peaceful place, mostly, but the ghost stories persist. At the Caboolture Historical Village, staff report cold spots, footsteps, a shadow moving between rooms. At the Riverview Private Hospital, now a museum, visitors see a figure in the upstairs window, always at dusk and always silent. And out on the water, boaters still report strange reflections, figures standing on the shore that vanish when approached. One kayaker claimed a man in uniform walked into the water and never came out. So who haunts Moreton Bay? Is it Logan, the tyrant cursed to wander the land he ruled with cruelty? Or the convicts, flogged, drowned, forgotten, rising from the mangroves to reclaim their story? Or maybe it's both, a haunting locked in conflict, a ghost story with no peace. I've seen those shores, wanderers. Didn't see Logan, didn't see any faceless men, but the water felt heavy, like it was holding its breath, like it remembered every lash, every cry, every secret. The drop bear refused to get out of the car, which honestly is usually a sign something's up. Thank you, wanderers, for walking with me today. If you enjoyed this journey into the haunted history of Moreton Bay, stick around. Next time, we're heading to Canberra for a ghost who knocks before haunting, because even the dead appreciate good manners. Until then, stay curious, stay brave, and keep wandering. Thank you for staying to the end again. Now, where were we in my backstory? That's right, the impact. There's a sound I don't think I'll ever forget. Not because it was dramatic, not because it was violent, but because it was ordinary. Too ordinary. It was sound of something dropping through branches. A rustle, a scrape, a quick shuffle of leaves, and then the impact. That's the one. That's the sound that split my life cleanly in two. I remember walking under a canopy so thick it felt like the sky had been erased. Everything was green and shadow and humidity, the kind of air that clings to your skin like it's trying to warn you about something. I wasn't paying attention. No, I was thinking about snacks, and whether my boots were giving me blisters, and whether I should have brought a second water bottle. You know, the usual thoughts you have right before the universe decides to drop a furry meteor on your skull. I didn't see it. I didn't even sense it. One moment I was upright, alive, breathing. The next, well, that was me. Or the version of me that still had a pulse. The funny thing is, I remember the moment of impact from two angles. From inside my body, the shock, the sudden darkness, the way the world folded in on itself. And from outside, like I was hovering a metre away, watching a girl crumple to the forest floor, while a small, panicked creature scrambled off her back. Dual awareness is a perk of being dead, or a side effect, or a glitch. Honestly, I'm still figuring out the fine print. From the outside, it almost looked gentle, like a puppet whose strings had just been cut. No drama, No scream, just collapse. From the inside, though, it felt like the world punched me in the soul. I remember the drop bear, though I didn't know what it was at the time. A blur of fur and claws and instinct. It wasn't attacking me. It wasn't malicious. It was just doing what drop bears do. Gravity plus eucalyptus equals chaos. Simple math. But here's the part that sticks with me. After it fell on me, after it knocked me out cold, it didn't run away. It circled me, pacing, chittering, confused, concerned even. I didn't know that until later, when the memories came back in layers, like peeling bark off a tree. But now I can see it clearly. A tiny guardian panicked over the girl it accidentally flattened. There's something strangely comforting about that. Even in death, I wasn't alone. Sometimes when I replay this moment, I hear my own gasp, but it's not quite my voice. It's lower, like a recording played back at the wrong speed. That's the part that unsettles me, not the fall, not the impact, not even the dying. It's the echo, the way my voice sounds like it's coming from somewhere else, somewhere deeper, somewhere older. Maybe that was the first sign that something supernatural was creeping in. Not the lightning, that comes later. Not the resurrection, that's another story entirely. But the echo, the wrong sounding gasp, like the universe inhaled with me, or for me. I think about that moment a lot. The moment before the storm, before the lightning, before the cave and the microphone and the ghost stories. Just a girl, a drop bear, and a mistake. A mistake that changed everything. When I picture it now, I see the forest floor, wet, dark, littered with leaves. I see my body laying there, still breathing, but not for long. I see the drop bear's tiny paw prints circling me like a ritual. And then I see one paw print, just one, fill slowly with rainwater. That's the image that stays with me the most. Not the fall, not the pain. Just that little pool of water forming in the shape of a paw. Like the forest was marking this moment. Like it was saying, remember this, everything changes here. And it did.